Rise and shine, it's a brand new day. Ken can take the stage, ready to play. Weekdays at 10, the cars on the scene. Coffee in hand, they're living the dream. Aggression in the voice, got the whole town awake. Bringing fire to the mic, make no mistake. Shows in the corner, spitting out facts. Dropping truth bombs, ain't holding back. Ken in the morning, feel the heat. From 10 a.m. CST, can take a seat. We live and loud, that break in the mud. Light up your speakers, crank up the sound. They're talking about life upside down. Opinions exploding like a sonic blast. In the studio, they're built to last. With passion and grit, they engage and ignite. Every single week, they're a force can't fight. From sports to politics,
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Hey, good morning. It's Friday. It's no football still. It's not going to be that way forever. Eventually there'll be football. Don't know. Well, don't know if it's going to be in Indiana or Chicago if you're a Bears fan. But yeah, it's Friday and we got some rookie camps going on. Rookie not camp. Yeah, I guess they're calling them camps, aren't they? OTAs, camps, whatever you want to call them, some overhyped train about how great the draft picks are doing or how concerned you should be about your team's choice. Good morning, Fred. Hope you're doing well this Friday. Joe should be here momentarily. Ken will be back on Monday. I talked to him yesterday, so he'll be back Monday. So yeah, we're getting there. It's another Friday. Not much going on in the NFL as I peruse the landscape today. Ben Johnson had a press conference this morning for the Bears. Watched that. Not much there. Just how great they felt about the guys they drafted. I don't get this. So, good morning, Joe.
What's up, dude?
So, this morning, Ben Johnson has his presser. And, of course, reporters ask the same questions. This happened for the Raiders. It happened for everyone else. Well, how'd you feel when you drafted this guy? What do you expect the coach to say? Oh, we weren't too happy that we were stuck drafting this guy at number whatever. We really had hoped these other guys had been available, but we took him anyway. I mean, of course, when they ask, you know what I'm saying, Joe? It's like, so when you picked this guy number 42, how'd you feel about it? Oh yeah, we were, Joe, we weren't happy about taking him at 42. I mean, we
honestly, all the good players were gone by then, and so we just.
His attitude's been terrible. We just, we didn't even need the position, but we just said, what the hell? We had nothing better to do because everyone else still sucked.
His feet are stinking up the locker room.
Oh, geez. It was hilarious. Oh, yeah, he's the third tight end, but, he's really happy to be here. But we're not happy. Come on. Reporters, man. I mean, I don't know if I do any better. I don't know if any of us would do any better. I mean, they're having a press conference. I guess you have to ask something. The one hog that, or how he said the guy, the tight end we drafted, they were asking about him. You already have 2 in the roster, so was he happy to be here? No, he's upset. He doesn't want it. He didn't want us to draft him. He's not going to. What do you expect the coach to say? Yeah. It's all BS. It was fun.
Yeah, but at least they're not fishing for. At least they're not fishing for the wrong answers. Like the other day, they asked Fernando Mendoza right before rookie minicamp started. Since Indiana won the national championship, they get to go to the White House and meet the president. Like, are you planning to go? And he was like, actually, I think the minicamp starts that week or something like that. So he expertly dodged the question, but it was one of those questions where they were looking to get his political leanings. Like it was a question where it's like, if he says, no, I'm not going to the White House, then it's like, oh, he doesn't like President Trump. Or if he says, I am going to the White House, it's like, oh, he's a Trumper. So And what was cool about it, though, is that Fernando Mendoza just absolutely expertly sidestepped the question in a way that, like, it was like, I see what you're doing and I don't like it, and I'm gonna go ahead and just give you this answer, this generic canned answer instead.
Yeah,
Like,
well, it's like, like if a player goes to the White House, his team wins the champ, their team, him or her, their team wins, and it's like, are you gonna go to the White House? Like, yeah, why wouldn't I? Well, Trump is president, and
yeah.
then it changes the honor of the sitting president, giving us the honor like every president has done to every other team that's won a championship. Makes it different. How?
And I'll be honest with you, dude. Meeting the president of the United States, whether you personally like the dude or not, should be an honor. Like, you know,
Yeah.
the only president, and I'm saying the only president, like, that I probably wouldn't go to the White House to meet would be Joe Biden, just because he's not really all there. Like, but if Bill Clinton, okay, Barack Obama, okay, he's still the president of the United States, dude. Like, you
Well, that's
know,
like I like U.S. hockey, man. Fred's right. I love their response. Like, we don't care who the president is. It's the president. You go.
yeah.
You
You get
know.
invited to the White House, dude. Imagine the spread they got there too. Like,
How
bro,
often does that happen? Unless you're
yeah,
Tom Brady. You know.
yeah,
I mean, honestly, like it's a once in a lifetime kind of thing, and whether it be Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, George H.W. Bush, Trump, even Biden, who may not all be there when you're there, but hey, you're still at the White House.
Hey,
And,
speaking of the White House, I'm sorry, this is a good segue, just because I just want to get this out there. It's not football related, but it's like, I don't know. I know there's at least a few of the people watching the show that are into this topic, but I think it was a few weeks ago, Pete Hegseth said that they were going to be dumping files, like, on the UAP stuff, like that they're actually in an effort for transparency, they're making a dump. They made that dump at this morning at 5 a.m. and it's at I think war.gov. Like, it's I found the link on Reddit and I was going through some of these files. Like, they're going to be doing like a steady leak, like every week they're going to drop more files and more
like
videos and stuff.
Operation Blue Book, and all that kind of stuff, or even
Well, that's part of it, but they're dropping modern stuff too. Like, they're dropping videos that haven't been released. They just today they've dropped videos that we've never seen before. Astronaut accounts from, like, from not one of the maybe one of the Apollos, but where they saw that UAP, Borman, the astronaut Borman saw something, and they have like the full transcript, and there's all kinds of files going back to 1947, which was a big year in UAP for at least the government. They had a lot of reports, but I didn't go through it all because it's 17 so far. It's like 17 pages long.
You know what's funny, Joe? It's like they could prove aliens. Like, oh, well, no, you can't come to our planet because of who the president is. You
Yeah,
know? Oh, well, the current administration dumped the files. Therefore, they must all see. Maybe that's their idea, dude. Because like they're gonna dump these files, and there's gonna be some stuff in there, right? And then people will be like, "Well, look, we dumped it. It's just a distraction. It's not true."
yeah.
That's how
That's
stupid people are.
I've already seen that, like, on Reddit. Like, I've already seen that because Reddit is a liberal hive mind,
Oh yeah.
and I've seen it already. Like, you can't trust anything dump drops, and they call them dump or drumpf. It's so clever, drumpf. They're like, oh, you can't trust anything drumpf is going to tell you, and it's like, but these are legit files that, if
But
anybody is
these are the
interested in the
same
subject, and I wasn't
people.
trying to sidetrack the whole show. I just
No,
wanted
but
to.
these are the same people, though, Joe. Because when like presidents go to sporting events, right? I mean, there's the famous picture of Ronald Reagan throwing out the first pitch at Wrigley Field, right, with the Cubs silkscreen jacket on, and George W. Bush with the first pitch at was it the Yankees game, right? Yeah, Yankees. After 9/11, when they resumed playing ball. Obama, going to the south side of Chicago, making the first pitch for the White Sox. they're all these kinds of presidents have been involved in sports moments. It's always when a sitting president goes to a sporting event, a big deal, and it was never frowned upon, ever in history until recently. Now, when the president goes to a game, it's oh my god, I can't believe he should. Why is he at a game? Like,
On the
wait,
taxpayer dime.
yeah, I mean, dude, Biden went to the Flyers Blackhawks Stanley Cup final, and these guys all go to these. Well, they used to, and then for a long time, one party more than other did it. The last president didn't go to a single American sporting event, not a one. This president loves sports. He's been to college football games.
UFC fights.
Yeah, I mean, you know, look at if you're an athlete and the president of your country, wants to shake your hand after you've won, wants to recognize you in front of the nation after you've won. I don't care what party you is, that's an honor. And so when reporters ask athletes that, like Mendoza, good on him. Like I'm not sure what my schedule is. I think I have, I think I'm having to work that day. Sorry. Which Mark Davis, like, dude, if you want to go to the White House, go to the White House. The team would let him go because they get it. It's an honor to have an audience with the president, to be invited to the White House. But I think they over politicized. Like, oh my God, the U.S. men's national hockey team is eating McDonald's, and they were hamming it up, dude. They were loving it. Like, wait, we're at the White House, and he's trucking in like Big Mac. Like,
Yeah, and they
how American
specifically
is that?
requested McDonald's though. That's the thing. That's the thing that got lost in the news is
Yeah.
they specifically requested McDonald's. Like he had a different spread for him, and they were like, "Oh, can we just get McDonald's?" And then like there was a basketball team, they wanted chicken sandwiches from like Chick-fil-A or from like some
Yeah.
restaurant. So he went and got like
What's
freaking
great about
thousands of
how American is that though to have McDonald's at the White House and be on the U.S. national team?
yeah.
I mean, dude, I mean, come on. It's like, oh my God, they drink
Actually,
Coca Cola.
so they're doing a UFC event at the White House this
Yeah,
summer. Right?
amazing.
It's called Freedom 250. And so President Trump is such a fan of UFC. He's a fan of a particular fighter named Derek Lewis, right? Derek the Black Beast Lewis. And so President Trump at the last event that he was at, he leans over and he asks Dana White, "Hey, how come Derek Lewis isn't on the White House card?" And so Dana White looks at him, he's like, "That's a good question. Let me ask." So he goes and asks Sean Shelby, the matchmaker, "Hey, why isn't Derek Lewis on the White House card?" Call him and ask him if he wants to be on the White House card. So he calls Derek Lewis, "Hey, do you want to be on?" President Trump is asking why you're not on the White House card. Do you want to be on the White House card? He's like, "Fuck yeah, I want to be on the White House card." So all of a sudden, they got him a fight that day. Like as soon as the event was over, Dana White announced it. So like President Trump isn't just a fan of sports. Like he literally made got a guy who wasn't even on the card. Like,
What I like about football wise with him, I mean, he
and
does a
that's
lot
going to
of.
be a banger fight.
Oh
Like
yeah,
the fight that he got.
I haven't watched UFC in a while, but I will watch that one. I got. Oh, by the way, I got my new um, IPTV provider yesterday, so link forthcoming for those who want it. I'm just waiting to get the um, referral link for people. Um, but $70 for the whole year, 3 lines in my house, wonderful. So I will be watching a little bit more UFC than I used to. I used to watch back in the day when I did combative, but the Army Navy game for me is a big game every respect. Really, the only college game I care about for obvious reasons, right? Army Navy. So, and they play for what the academies play for what some people don't know is called the President's Trophy. So it's a trophy in the President of the United States name. Only one president in modern history never went to any academy games, never presented a trophy. Only one. And they get mad when the current one goes to every game and presents a trophy. This is the game, unlike any other game. The Army Navy game, Army Air Force is big, Navy Air Force. So those are games, big games. The Army Navy game is the game, right? Like, they get mad at the sitting president of the United States is at the game. It's like, Do you understand this is a game of service members who he's going to be in command of? And he
He's
shows up to
literally
the
the
game,
commander in chief.
and yeah, as the commander in chief, he shows up to support them. Even when he wasn't commander in chief, he went to those games and would make presentations and stuff. Um, I think every president should go to that, you know. So yeah, I don't get the reporters when they ask stupid questions like that, like they asked Mendoza. It's like I guess it became the in vogue thing to do with this now new tribalistic political atmosphere we live in. Yeah, but I don't care if it's Joe Biden, Donald Trump, whoever. If you win the league. Yeah, you go to the White House. I mean, look at
Mhm.
you're not making a political statement by going to the White House to receive an honor from the White House. It doesn't matter who the president is. At the end of the day, when you're 80 years old and you're looking at the citation you got from the president, whether I don't know if they give a certificate or a medal or what, I can't remember what it is they do. But that's still going to be a story, and your kids aren't going to care who the president was. Like, wow, you met the president.
Mhm.
It's like, wow, you have a picture with the president. It's like if receive the Medal of Honor, you're not going to not show up because you don't like the current president. I mean, that's the closest thing you're going to get in sports, right? You're not going to win the Medal of Honor playing for, the Las Vegas Raiders or Chicago Bears or Green Bay Packers, whoever. But you may win a Lombardi. That is your Medal of Honor. You know what I mean? And I don't get it. Yeah, I don't get it. Your reporters ask the dumbest questions, man, with these OTs. Well, your rookie dropped the ball 4 times a practice. Are you worried about that? You should have drafted him. Yes, Jim. We thought immediately, like, wow, Joe was a wasted draft pick. I mean, he's already dropping passes. We should just cut him immediately. Really? I mean, like, what do you expect? Like, when I listen to these press conferences, I listen to the reporters. We watch because we want to learn a little, what's going on with our team, whatever. And as these reporters are asking questions, you just kind of your mind's already turning, going, you already know what the answer is. It's such a dumb question,
Mhm.
and you already know what the coach is like. Well, yeah, we're yeah. I don't know. It's mind boggling, dude. And like this is rookie training camp. It's like, what do you expect them to say? Oh, are you pleased with your draft picks? No, we hate every single one of them. The damn team that picked in front of us every time snaked the
Yeah.
guy we wanted.
It's not looking good.
Just don't even bother coming to camp, guys. We're gonna suck this year.
Yeah, I don't like the stupid questions either. And it seems like the majority of the questions are those softball questions that you're just like, don't learn.
Like they talked about the kid we drafted at center. They and we just what's the guy we traded for? We did the Bears minor didn't make the news cycle really, but Garrett Bradbury, we restructured his deal, right? And then we drafted a kid. And they asked about the kid we drafted being from Iowa. And he's like, yeah, when's he going to be the starter? Or when's he going to be on the field? I love the reply. That's on him. Like, we drafted him because we think he's got the tools. Now, how long it takes for him to get on the field? Well, that's on him. We'll have to see how he plays. And he just restructured Bradbury's deal, giving him more guaranteed money. It's sign it for Bradbury. But he's like, look, we brought him in here to create competition and to become the next guy in, and all that. He said the things you expect your coach to say. But I had a better, I feel better when they ask questions like that because it's like, okay, you just drafted the center, you just traded for a center. What's your thought process here? I mean, it's obvious what the thought process is, kind of, but it was, he goes, it was nice to actually, it wasn't all super flowery, like, oh, we expect the kid we drafted to be the starter. Right? It's like, well, the kid's got the tools. So how long does it take him to get on the field? Depends on him. Depends on the competition.
It's a realistic answer.
Yeah.
I hate the fluff pieces, dude, where we're just sitting here like, they just praise everybody and it's like, it's like I know they can't say anything different, but that's what makes it boring. Is like, you know, they can't say anything different. They can't say like, well, honestly, he's been dropping some balls at practice, and it's kind of concerning. They can't say that, even if it's true. Um,
Well, you have two phenomenal tight ends. Why'd you draft a third one in the third round? Like, what
because
do you
we want
expect
to
Ben Johnson to say there? Like,
because we want to run
well,
3 tight end sets.
well, actually, though, because I think they're expecting him to say something about like, well, to allude that Cole Kmet's on the way out to his contract or whatever like that. But no, that's exactly what Ben did. Like Ben's like, this game's ever evolving. He asked about the receiver room, which is deep too. He's like, this game is ever evolving, and you want to be able to attack defenses in multiple platforms in multiple ways, whether they're in a base, cover two, whatever they're in. You want to be able to be adaptive, and the smoke screen your adaptiveness. And he's like, this league is starting to see more 2 and 3 tight end sets. It used to be 3 wide receiver set. Now it's like 3 tight end set. Well, guess what? I can do both now, and I can mask it because I got wide receivers and tight ends that can switch it up and look like they're playing either or. So I thought that was a very great answer from Ben Johnson because they're fishing for Cole Kmet's on a chopping block is what they're fishing for, right? Or Ben Johnson's not happy with his receiver room. Hey, good morning, Dre. What's up, man? But I thought that the way he answered that question, and that was a pretty honest assessment. He's like, look, the NFL is changing. Because they started the whole line of questioning off asking about Luther Burden the third. Did he take a step forward? And it's like, yeah, because we've seen him play so many games since the end of last season to tell you he's taken a huge leap or not. And Ben answered that one great. Well, hey, he's been here in the offseason. You walk around the building, you're going to see Luther Burden and Colson Loveland. These guys are in the weight room. They're here. They're putting in work. But yeah, they're taking a massive leap, even though we haven't seen them play yet. But they were going this whole route, and I love how he just kind of shut them all down. Like, look it, we're going to play in multiple different sets: 3 wide receiver, 3 tight end, 2 tight end. We might even run 3 running backs out there, just because the NFL is evolving and we have the weaponry to do whatever we want when we want, and mask it. Beautiful answer. And they really tried to do a follow up, but there wasn't one they could come up with. Except, well, was this guy really happy being drafted in the 3rd round of the Chicago Bears? No, he was pissed. Yeah, he was pissed we drafted. I mean,
Actually, you know what? Like Jermod McCoy, the 4th round pick for the Raiders, he didn't look terribly enthused when he got drafted. Like I know it's because he fell from the 1st round to the 4th round, but like I watched the phone call where Spytek called him, and there wasn't a whole lot of enthusiasm there.
some guys are just business, though. Which
It's like
is there a new Vrabel video? Dre's asking, was there
on the boat.
Oh no, I didn't see this one.
So yeah, it's when Diana Rossini was pregnant, invisibly pregnant, like she's showing, and they're like they rented a boat together, like a houseboat kind of deal or a boat, and like they're walking down the dock together, and somebody caught them on a cell phone. TMZ is getting all the receipts.
Hey, here's the question with that though. I need answers here. They rented a houseboat. Okay. He was the coach of the Titans. She was reporting at the time. How did they both end up at this location with the houseboat? Was there like some other NFL meetings going on or something that would have, is it like, in other words, obviously they're neither of them in their home area probably for this, right? Because I'm making that assumption. So what's the smoke screen for why they were at where they were at? Like her as a reporter for her agency, and him as then a head coach for the Tennessee Titans. Like, what would be the reason they'd be at this other location? You know what I'm saying? Where their spouses aren't going, hey, wait a minute. Because for work, hey, I'm gonna take a couple personal days. Okay, cool. All right, cool, that's covered. But then, like, what they tell their spouses? Oh yeah, I got to go.
I got a work thing.
Yeah, I got a work thing over here. I go check out this player for Vrabel. That makes sense. But as a reporter, and then she doesn't. Her spouse is like, well, why aren't your thing you just went for? Why is it not on Sports Center? Where is it? So back in 21, no meeting. So just a random weekend in 2021. Wow. I mean, it just adds more to it. It's like See, that's the piece that really, if you think about it, the level that they went to, like, I mean, the work piece for them is easy, right? They just, like I said, hey, I'm taking a couple days off. I'm gonna get out of town for a bit. All right, cool, whatever. You know, work's not gonna care. Vrabel, it's easier for him as a head coach to, hey, I'm gonna go check out this player in whatever location. Yeah, okay. Have fun, honey. Bye. For her as a reporter, how does she pull that off? Having to go work on
I
the
have other
story.
questions.
Yeah, well, I mean, but I mean, that's the stuff
No, yeah,
people.
you raise valid questions, but I have other questions. Like, for example, if she's visibly pregnant, right, and it's not your kid, but you're on a houseboat, like digging her out for the weekend, like, I don't know, not my flavor, not my style, dude. Like,
Hey,
she's
family,
carrying another dude's kid, and you're over here blowing her back out, like.
she's already pregnant. You're not going to get her pregnant.
Yeah, I get that part, but like, I don't know. For me, it's like she's carrying some other dude's kid, unless see, this is why to me it's like it seems more like maybe it is Rabel's kid, dude.
Yeah, maybe. And Dre, I mean, crap. There was no doubt he'd have his back. And like I said, it would take an NFL investigation to force his hand to make him release him. You know, I mean, if you think about it, the way contracts are written too, like, okay, if Robert Kraft fires him today, what are the ramifications for Robert Kraft? Well, his contract is much different than someone who's, let's say, with ESPN or Fox News or whatever. The contract, there has to be he's going to be owed money. Put it that way. He's Vrabel will get paid. So look, here's a weird thing. If he fires Mike Vrabel today because, well, you had an affair, it's a bad look. You're going to pay that full guarantee of that contract. So you're going to pay him anyway. Now you've got this. And here's a coach who just coached you to a Super Bowl, but you're going to pay him for the next 4 years? It was probably a 5-year deal. You're going to have to pay him those 4 years. He's getting paid. Yeah, an affair. Okay, got it. It's not a great look. Okay, cool. Does that mean Robert Kraft should have to pay however many millions of dollars to him and have him not coach?
Well, they did it to Mark Davis, and he had a 10-year, $100 million guaranteed contract with Gruden, and they forced Gruden out, and Mark Davis had to come to a settlement with Gruden to pay off that
That
contract.
there was yes, I agree. And look, but I think that they would have had Gruden because of the content of the emails. And look, the content wasn't great, but then again, they were personal emails between him and someone else. Um, I think the pressure, especially where we were politically at the time, was a lot more. But Mark Davis he did the right thing with Gruden by paying him, because Gruden shouldn't have been fired. He should have just kept Gruden. And to be honest with you, I don't think Raider fans would have given a shit. I know I wouldn't have. Like, I was mad when they got rid of Gruden. In fact, getting rid of Gruden set the team back probably about 4 or 5 years, easily, if not more. Um, you don't have the Josh Daniels crap, or any of that. Carr would have thrived as a quarterback under Gruden's system. I mean, you can already see it happening. Um, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? Though the political climate has changed a little bit too between now and when Chucky got fired. But I think that the Chucky thing was more because it had to deal with not just sexism but racism and other things, which is still not true of him. But because he's not a racist, he's not a sexist any more than any other guy in the face of the planet is. I mean, yeah, he likes good-looking women. Big fucking deal. And he said it to another male. Oh my god, terrible. And every player that's played for him is like, if you think this dude's racist, you're smoking crack. But the media pushed the narrative, and the politicians got involved and pushed the narrative so much that I think it forced, and the NFL got involved so much with it. Like, that's a difference. Like, none of that's happening with the Vrabel thing. Like, the story's out there, but it's not like this big national news story as much as the email scandal was. So, and Kraft, I think, is a little bit different owner than Mark Davis, and don't take that the wrong way, because I really like Mark Davis as the owner of the Raiders. I even liked Al Davis. I thought Al Davis, but see, Mark isn't Al. Al could do what Kraft can do now. Al Davis was a position like Robert Kraft is. I'm going to do whatever the hell I want. If you don't like it, what are you going to do? And literally, that was the thing. What are you going to do? Those guys had power. Mark Davis doesn't have that kind of power yet. But I like Mark Davis. I think he's one of the best owners in the league, to be honest with you. But he doesn't have that kind of power, especially at that point when they're also just moving to Vegas and all the stuff that went on with that. He didn't have the power to go to Roger Goodell and tell him to basically put it where the sun don't shine. Robert Kraft could tell Robert Goodell, you know what? I'm calling Jerry and you're done. Mark Davis can't do that. You know what I mean? So there's that piece of it too. But I'm like, I'm not surprised Kraft has his back. I mean, once again, yeah, the guy cheated. It's terrible. He's a bad person for doing it. I'm not saying Mike Vrabel is like a good guy. Wait a second. We have to interrupt this program because there's a jag-off in the comments. Good morning, Yinzer. I mean, I'm not saying Vrabel's a great guy or anything, but you know, I mean, if we fire people for when they do something stupid in their personal lives, no one would work in this country.
I think
This
there
is
are
the
bigger
lingering.
implications.
This is the
It's
lingering.
not. It's not so much about the affair. It's about the contrasts.
Well, and that's what we talked about the other day. They have to prove. One other thing, though, too. Let me go back to Chucky with Mark Davis. The other thing, too, cancel culture was definitely a huge thing still during the Gruden firing. We were in the throes of cancel culture. Like, they were going back. But 10 years ago, you tweeted this. Remember when that guy's getting drafted and like, well, you made this tweet when you were 15 years old and it's off color. You're a bad person. You shouldn't be eligible for the NFL draft. You know, and shit like that. Like that, we were in the throes of cancel culture. Cancel culture, for the most part, is gone now. There's still some cancel culture vultures out there. They're still out there, but no one cares anymore. You know what I'm saying? So that was the other difference between what's happening with Vrabel now and what happened with Chucky and the email scandal. Like cancel culture is pretty much dead. Yeah, they are.
Hmm.
And you know what? She'll be the next Miss Vrabel, probably.
Hmm.
That surprised me. So, I mean, I'm not surprised though that Kraft isn't fired. He's like, unless they can prove a conflict of interest that was negative to the Patriots, because of, oh, well, she fed him information about the opponents. Once again, do you think Kraft is going to fire him over that? Wait a minute, you got information on our opponents that helped us win games? Yeah, I'm gonna fire you. Sure. Come on,
Hmm.
it's the Patriots we're talking about. The only way he gets fired, I still think, is if the NFL does something. Where the NFL says, look, we're gonna, slap this massive fine on you and on the Patriots, and we're gonna suspend you. That may be the only way in which he loses his job.
Well, I just literally on my phone right now, I have a notification from Google, and the headline is Mike Vrabel faces resignation calls following new leaked intimate video.
Yeah, but who's it? Who's the source on that? On that leak? I mean, is it MSNB, MS Now, or whatever they're calling themselves? I mean,
No, but it doesn't say who the Well, I didn't read the article.
yeah.
I didn't read the article, but it's of course there's calls for resignation. That's the cancel culture part, but it's just not loud enough to get him fired. Like,
Well, and the media is going to call for it because it was with one of their own, and now there's that whole thing where the media is going to have. Put this way, the media is not going to be unbiased in the reporting of this. So, some guy who's butthurt at ESPN because he didn't get to sleep with her, is going to say, "Oh well, he should retire. He should be fired." And there's all these calls for firing. Where are your sources? Well, people. Well, I was like, okay, unnamed sources. Oh, unnamed sources. Yeah. Yeah, I have unnamed sources that say that Joe is signing with the Chicago Bears to be the new long snapper tomorrow.
for the NFL vet man, I'll do it.
Yeah, me too. right?
But no, like that all this stuff about the houseboat and everything. It's like whatever. The more videos that come out, it's like okay, we already know he was boning her. Like there's not, much proof are you going to put out there? Like
Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah, it's like, oh, well, wait. So wait, they had an affair since like 2020, 2021. Yes. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, they cheated. Not good. Oh, she was
yeah.
pregnant. Oh,
So
well,
they
there's
cheated
questions.
here, then they went to this hotel, then they went to this boat. It's like, dude,
Oh,
he was boning her. Like,
it
stop it.
could
He's
get
already dead. Like,
hey, her son Michael could be his. Oh, okay. Huh. Shocking new revelation. While they were cheating and she was pregnant, they were seen walking on a houseboat. New cause for resignation because they were cheating. Like, dude, we already knew this. It's like, really? Like, even if a sex tape were to drop tomorrow, when who cares? We already knew.
yeah.
This isn't new news. We knew they were cheating.
But it does make me wonder though, like if Vrabel is going to try to run damage control and try to work things out with his wife.
Well, I mean, financially, we talked about that a little bit yesterday. I mean, he has good reason to. Right? Sure, Gray. She named him after her brother. Sure. I got a bridge to sell you. Joe froze for all that too. Damn it. Um, for him to divorce his wife, there's a financial cost. He may not have a choice in it. Honestly, I mean, Joe, I don't know. Is it better for him to stay married or just get the divorce at this point? Oh, Joe's still having problems there. You unfroze for a second, then he froze. Yeah, well, we need a Maury Povich paternity test show. Maury, come back, do a paternity test show with Rossini and Vrabel.
Honest,
No, but to
honestly,
answer
I just can't help but think like at this point, divorce is the best option, dude, for Vrabel. And I'll
it
tell
may
you why.
be.
Even though he's going to lose all this money, if he stays with his wife, he's going to have blue balls till the Bills win the Super Bowl, dude. Like, if you think that it's just going to be forgotten tomorrow and like they're just going to go on about their life, no, dude. She is going to
I
make
think
him pay every single day that he stays married to her, dude.
I think look, I think if he goes to I think if he were to go the Splitsville route, and he goes to his lawyer and say, "Look, make it a very friendly deal for her. I know I'm going to lose my ass. I got it. You know, because look, I think the worst thing to do is try to have his cake and eat it too. Like have this nasty, drawn out divorce where, like she's got to be. This is going to sound weird when I say it. Reasonable in how this works. Like don't just sit there and like say, well, you can never see your kids again. No, no, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna side with her on that. But if they can get to an amicable divorce through this situation, which is obviously more than it can happen. Divorce doesn't have to be nasty. It can be amicable. And in this case, it could still be amicable. Yeah, it's a huge embarrassment for her. I get it, right? But it's not like if she were to come out and say, "Well, I want all his money and I want the kids full time and I want $50 million a year," be stupid with it, then he's gonna get sympathy off that from men, obviously. Some of the women out there are, "You get him, sister. You get him for everything." Okay, fine. But look, it doesn't mean he's a bad dad. So it doesn't mean you know if he goes about the divorce in such a way, says, "Look, offer her, you know, this really nice package where she's gonna get, you know, her her payday, so to speak. I hate to put it in that term, but her payday. With the money package, and does the divorce. I mean, he can do the divorce right. I guess is what I'm trying to say, where he can acknowledge, "Hey, I blew this up. This isn't going to work. We need to go different ways. I've embarrassed you, right? Here's the financial package. We'll share custody of the kids, but I'll give you extra on top, whatever." He could do the divorce thing kind of right, and it won't be this big sensationalized deal. And if he does that, and they can have an amicable divorce, No one's going to care about Rossini's divorce and how that goes. That's going to be an afterthought. But they'll end up married.
Yeah, but her husband's going to take her to the cleaners too.
Yeah, maybe. Well, yeah, he will, especially with the kid thing. But once again, she won't care. For her, it's not as big of a deal. She's not going to be the breadwinner of that new situation.
Yeah. But that's
But
assuming that Vrabel's kids want to see him at all. I mean,
yeah, the difference with Kobe though at the time when Kobe did his, wasn't he still like in his early 20s? They were both super young, and then he just went out and bought like a $7 million diamond ring for her, right? And other things. They were also a lot younger. It didn't go on for years. I mean, now we have this thing going back to what 2020. This thing has been going on for 5, 6 years minimum. This is
and that's
different
that's
from Kobe.
that's why I'm saying if his kids want to see him at all, because like maybe I'm a bit of a Puritan in this respect, but if you're a married man and you have a family, all those weekends on the houseboat and in Sedona at the hotels and stuff, you're not just leaving your wife to go cheat. You're abandoning your family to go cheat. And
And he needs it. And if there's a divorce, he needs to obviously reconcile that. But we're not saying I'm not going to sit there and say he doesn't love his kids.
no, I'm not saying that, but
Right.
I'm just saying like I'm acknowledging another reality of the situation.
I think though, if he acknowledges that though, Joe, and compensates for it financially speaking for their well-being and everything else, and I think put it this way, he can do. He's probably looking at divorce. I, I yeah, I agree. I mean, he should just. They should both just at this point. Um, it's different from the Kobe situation. This is years long, you know. But you want to know what the interesting thing is, though, and we haven't even considered this. She may have known the whole time. You know, look at some of these folks live in a different atmosphere than we do.
Mhm.
High profile people, and think about how many politicians and athletes don't get divorced because of the aesthetics of it.
Mhm.
So then they agree with their partner. Look, this isn't going to work, but we can't get divorced. So you do your thing. I'm going to do my thing, and we'll just present as a happy couple on TV.
The Will and Jada.
Yeah,
That thought has occurred to me too because NFL wives, come on, when your husband's on the road, he's banging everything that moves, and it's sort of like the price you pay for being an NFL wife for living in the $50 million house, like
yeah,
that. So, but as far as Rossini's husband though, I think there's no way that he didn't know. Like I think the dude is a straight up cuck.
yeah.
There's no way he didn't know. Like
But once again,
she
though,
names your kid Michael,
different
and
atmosphere. So because remember, Vrabel and his wife are on a different level than Rossini and her husband. Like, if you want to talk like, he's
well,
at 35,000.
her husband is actually a successful, like he's a CEO of something.
Right, but if she would have gotten divorced or they were to have gotten divorced any other time, it's not even a news cycle thing.
Yeah,
He gets divorced, it's a news cycle thing. That's some different atmospheres. But, so like Vrabel's wife probably, she had an idea that he's probably cheating, blah 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 blah. I mean, the only wife in the NFL who should be surprised that their husband ever cheated is Kirk Cousins' wife. You know what I mean?
Derek Carr's wife,
Maybe Derek Carr's wife. They're a couple, yeah. But I mean, like, dude, I mean, for the
Fernando
most part,
Mendoza, maybe
yeah. I
he doesn't
so
have a wife, but
I mean, look, you know what I mean. So I mean, like, I agree with what you're saying, but she may have known the whole time. But now it's a public thing, so now it makes it even messier. Now they have no choice. The hand's been forced. But maybe that was the thing the whole time. Like he was done. They were done 7 years ago, and just then the question is like, well, why didn't you get divorced though when you weren't coaching anymore? Like then it would have been a news cycle thing. And there's validity to that. But I mean, this whole mess. At the end of the day, he's still gonna be the head coach. They'll probably both end up with a divorce. People are saying, "Oh, it's gonna take away from his coaching." Okay, debatable. Because let's be honest, for the most part, it's the attorneys. and they've had so much time to soak this in already that you've missed that point of contact's over. That point of impact's over. Now it's just waiting on the attorneys to do their things, and yeah, there's gonna be some stressful moments, but compartmentalize. You just go do your job, and So I mean, I don't. Kraft is not going to fire him. The kids are 25 and 26, so yeah, there you go. Thank you, Dre. Um, so she's going to get paid, and you know, oh yeah, dude, come on, he's Ned Flanders, man.
Not Air McNair.
Their situation. Oh my goodness. But yeah, this breaking video. They were seen together. Yeah, we already know they were cheating. Once again, reporting terrible.
The houseboat thing for me, it's only a big deal because she was pregnant at the time, and like I said, for me, maybe I'm the only guy in the United States, but banging some other guy's pregnant wife doesn't really appeal to me.
Well, I think that gives more credence to the fact that maybe the kid was his.
That's where I'm coming. That's where I'm going with this. Is that like, but if it's my kid that's inside of her, then it's totally different, right? Like,
Well, but there are people out there, dude, who say, you're carrying his kid, and guess what? Yeah,
yeah,
I'm still going to Pound Town. Um, it's I guess it's a little significant in another way because maybe like some people just think of cheating like they're meeting in a seedy hotel room. No, these people rented houseboats.
oh, dude, this is
What?
terrible. But after a DNA test, little Michael shares 25% of Mike Vrabel's DNA, but only 25% because it's really the husband's kid, but because Mike was beating it up while she was pregnant.
Yeah, I don't think that's how that works scientifically. There,
I know, it's just, oh, dude. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I get the significance, but I mean, we already knew they were cheating before that, and there was already question. I think for some people that just makes it more, oh, it had to be his kid because of what Joe said. And then there's some people like, dude, he's conquering it with someone else's kid. That's alpha move, right? So I mean, I don't know if that really moves the needle much, to be honest with you, in terms of like people should be outraged. Dude, we already knew they were having the affair.
Yeah, I think we just need to see a picture of Michael. Can we get to side by side with him and Vrabel, dude? That's all I want. We can determine this once and for all, dude.
I know it's sad. This is still what's dominating the NFL news cycle right now. Oh, Brandon Johnson came back to Chicago feeling victorious that he might cost the state of Illinois the Bears. Because he thinks they're still moving to Chicago. They're going to stay in the city. Talk about stupid people. Just like these stupid reporters with the stupid questions. I mean, they ask them the dumbest questions, man. I mean, I can't, but you know what? Though? Let me defend these stupid reporters, though, for a second. I mean, what else are they going to ask? They have a job to do. They're expected to, have copy, right? File a story. What else are you asking at this point? You know what I'm saying? Like, what else can you really ask at this point?
Yeah.
He does, Dre. He does.
Yeah, it's that time of year. It's the dead news cycle, so you have to try to generate interest somehow. And there's really nothing other, unless you want to ask every coach in the NFL about the Mike Vrabel situation. There's really nothing else that you can, you can ask them about the draft picks.
So you ask your head coach. So what do you think about Mike Vrabel's situation? Like, what is your head coach supposed to say? Oh yeah, man. I knew the whole time, man. I'm go Mike. Get it, man. I mean, no, he's not going to say that. They're going to say, "Oh, it's terrible. He cheated on his spouse," but at the same time, they don't want to say. Well, they're not even going to say that because they want to be in unity.
Yeah, they're going to say it's not my business.
And yeah, I mean, not my monkey, not my circus. Well, what do you mean? You don't have an opinion on it? Like, yeah, they have an opinion on it. They're not. They don't have to give it to you.
I wish we had been able to do the MMA show this week because me and Ken were really going to get into it. it's a tough one to call, bro. Like, to be honest with you, I know that the world is leaning towards Hamzat because of his wrestling, but Sean Strickland has some of the best takedown defense in mixed martial arts. So the question is not, can Hamzat get him down? The question is, can Hamzat keep him down? And I actually think that he won't be able to keep him down. So I think that Strickland, while he will get taken down early, he'll eventually be able to stop the takedowns, and he's going to force Hamzat to fight his fight for the 5 rounds. And I don't know if he finishes them, but I think there's a chance that Strickland wins a decision, or he finishes Hamzat late because Hamzat just can't get the takedowns anymore and he gasses out by the 4th round, because spamming takedowns is exhausting, dude.
And you know what these reporters are going to ask these guys after the UFC fight? How do you feel about Mike Vrabel, cheating on his wife? Tell me that wouldn't happen, though, dude. Tell me that would not happen.
Or how do you feel about the president?
Yeah, I mean, but that's how bad these reporters are with some of this stuff, man. It's like after this UFC fight, I might try to watch this weekend. I don't know. Because I haven't paid attention to fights in a long time. But I mean, I could, it's like, oh, who was the guy? And I remember seeing the clips that when he won the UFC belt, and they're asking, and he just ripped on the left. Like that dude's an unapologetic MAGA.
Yeah, that's Sean Strickland. He's the one fighting this weekend. So it's him and Hamzat Chimaev. If you're going to start watching again, Ken, this weekend would be a good one to fight, a good fight to watch, because it's a grudge match. These two guys legitimately outside of the sport hate each other, and they've been talking shit to each other for about 3 years now. And it's on Saturday at 7 p.m. So to answer your question, Fred,
pay-per-view, or is it Netflix?
It's on Paramount Plus, but you can stream it. But you didn't hear me say that. But
I get everything. So.
Yeah, so there you go. So Fred, I could see this fight ending a couple of different ways. I think there's a case to be made that it looks a lot like Hamzat Chimaev versus Dricus du Plessis, where he just holds him down and lays on him for 5 rounds and wins a decision. I could see Hamzat finishing Strickland early, like catching a choke because of the transition wrestling. Or I could see Strickland being able to get back up from the takedowns, and eventually Hamzat is just so tired from spamming takedowns that Strickland finishes him or wins a decision. Those are really the 3 scenarios that I see. As far as picking the fight, I'm going for Strickland, but I think Chimaev is the favorite, but I'm rooting for Strickland.
Oh, hey, look what we got in the comment. It's the Friday. He's not off, so he's not here. Big Hoss in the house. Chilling from the great state of Louisiana. Yeah, I might pay attention to the fight. Yeah, if Strickland wins, it's going to be political commentary gold. Because the reporters will ask him the dumbest question. If Strickland wins, they're going to ask about the president. They're going to probably ask about Vrabel. Oh, yeah.
Oh, they've already asked, really. I mean, the press conference yesterday was wild, dude. Like, Strickland was calling Chimaev goat fucker, and like, oh, dude, it got out of hand. And then they faced off, and Chimaev kicked him in the nuts during the face-off. And yeah, dude, I'm telling you, this is the fight. If you haven't been watching, this is the fight to come back to, because these two guys, a lot of people talk shit in the build up to the fight to try to sell the fight. These two guys legitimately hate each other. Like, there won't be any handshakes after the fight. There won't be any hugging and, oh, you got my respect. Like, they might fight after the fight. Like, they might, and I'm being dead serious with you. It's very rare that 2 people hate each other like this. Like, the last one I can think of is Conor McGregor and Khabib Nurmagomedov, and that turned into a full-blown brawl in the octagon after the fight.
Where's the fight taking place at?
I'm not sure. I don't remember. It's in the United States, though, so it's at regular time.
So may there be a presidential sighting at this fight, I wonder?
I don't know. They usually don't announce it beforehand.
Well, yeah, they don't because of security, but I wouldn't be surprised.
No, I wouldn't be surprised if Trump shows up. I'm just saying I haven't heard that he's going to be there. They never announce it. He just shows up and all of a sudden walks out with a whole bunch of security and whatnot. But I would not be surprised if he shows up to this one, because this is a big one. And, Strickland is, as much as Strickland is pro MAGA, like I could see Trump showing up.
I mean, I hate we always hate the blending of politics and sports, but at the same time, I love the blending of politics and sports when politicians are showing up to support athletes. Like I do like that. I mean, that's pretty cool. It's not about policy. It's just about I like sports, and it reminds us that sports are there for us to get away from the political stuff. And it's great. You can take a couple hour break from reality to watch sport. And yes, even the president, or God forbid, the director of the DOJ or the FBI or any other agency can take a break to go take in a hockey game or a baseball game or whatever. I love when these pundits go, "Oh my God, why are they at a why is Cash Patel at a hockey game for the U.S. national team? Doesn't he have all those other work to do? Like, are you expect these people to work 24/7, 365? Do they not get personal time or free time to do some things that they enjoy? And I think it's great that they take their personal time to show support to athletes and the sports team. I mean, that's because that's what we do as people. We take our Sundays to watch NFL football. Oh my God, I can't believe Joe's watching football on a Sunday. He should be out there, fixing the homeless problem in California. Boycott Joe. It's gonna be Newark, New Jersey. Oh yeah, he's gonna be there. Yeah, he's gonna be there.
I'm wondering, Fred, who are you picking in that fight, Fred? Are you picking Shemaev? Because the majority seems to be picking Shemaev, and with good reason.
God,
like
George Kittle's at a WWE event. Shouldn't he be reading the playbook? Like, does Kittle not get a day to go to a WWE event? I mean, you know what I'm getting, Joe?
Yeah.
And then the reporter goes, "Well, what do you think about so and so being the audience? Like, what do you expect them to say? Oh yeah, the president or the governor or the mayor shouldn't be allowed to show up at these events and see us perform." Like, what a stupid question for the media to ask.
And honestly, what would you expect Dana White to say? He's thrilled that Trump is there because it brings eyes. It brings eyeballs.
It does. And, well, they're friends anyways. But then again, people don't understand when no one wanted to give the UFC a chance, one person did.
Yep.
One person said, "You know what? I'll take the chance on you. You can have it at my place. Don't even worry about it."
That White House card is going to be, whether you're a UFC fan or not, it's going to be a historic event.
Oh yeah,
you never had a sporting event at the White House.
Has that ever happened? I don't think so.
No, and that's what I'm saying. I think it's going to be a historic event either way. But actually, this is right up your alley, Ken. With the last couple minutes we have, because you did security for high profile figures when you were in the Army. Like the security logistics for this event are going to be an absolute nightmare, are they not?
Yeah, they are. In fact, we're out of time, but Joe, stick around after. I'll talk about that for a second off camera. We can talk about that maybe more Monday too. But we're out of time because we started the show a little bit late. JB is next. Great discussion of the day. I'm gonna watch the fight tomorrow, guys. Maybe we'll talk about it Monday morning because there's not gonna be much else in the NFL besides Mike Vrabel had an affair. Shocker! We didn't know already. Have a great weekend, everyone. We'll talk to you soon. Hold on, Joe.